It's an all-British affair here, Dan Gaskin. It is, of course, Fnatic's Tekkz taking on FUTWIZ LYRICZ.
What a chance this is for LYRICZ to have that redemption story. I'm sure he already considers this the perfect start to the season, but it could top off with potentially a cross-console final. If he can take down arguably the best FIFA player in existence in Fnatic's Tekkz, he has done so much through the past couple of seasons, and he now has a chance to make it 3 seasons in a row the first major victory. If he can get past LYRICZ and then win that cross-console final, which would just be absolutely insane.
Of course, a chance to make history here for Tekkz, as we always seem to say whenever he's on our screens, as he's releasing Neymar down. Well, this flank here gets the ball inside to Eusebio. Little drag back, exits the same way that he came in. But for LYRICZ, Dan, as we just see this attack out, a real chance to upset the apple cart here and really confirm what he was saying on the couch earlier himself, saying he is one of the best in the world. People have been questioning that. If you can beat Tekkz, get yourself into a cross-console final, win yourself a tournament here at the first FUT Champions Cup of the year, well, no one can argue with you.
He did also say on the couch, though, he thinks it's going to be a very closely contested game and it could just come down to 1 goal. Or he said if whoever gets the first goal is going to go on to win it, because they'll then just be able to control the game, dominate, and really just defend against their opponent, stop them and restrict them from having those chances. However, both of these players have scored a lot of goals in this tournament so far. Tekkz with an average of 2.10 per game, LYRICZ with an average of 1.9. Though, we have also seen them both with very good defensive records, so it's one of those where I think we're just going to get 2 play styles collide here. 2 very good attacking players, but also very good at the back.
I think this is going to be a super exciting game, and the first opportunity of the game fell to Fnatic Tekkz. You saw the idea there, the picture being painted in his head as he just threaded that through ball through. Almost managed to complete the ball roll around Marc-Andre ter Stegen, but the big German from Barcelona managed to get down to it, get a piece of it. And LYRICZ survives the first scare of this game.
Yeah, and LYRICZ will have to be conscious of that as well. The fact that Tekkz is driving that ball in to that striker, is looking to get like a scoop turn around the final defender. If you can get that turn, if you can get that shot away, it's so crucial. And usually you can come away with a goal if you can plan it in the right direction. But as you said, ter Stegen showing why he is one of the most popular keepers to be chosen in this tournament. Getting out and getting down fast.
So already had chances in this game, and I've got the feeling that even though you were saying, and quite rightly so, what LYRICZ was saying earlier, saying it could be a cagey affair, it could be a game decided on 1 or 2 goals, both these players are so explosive once they do get into that 18-yard box. It's certainly going to be interesting to see who can break the deadlock and in what style. But Vieira in at centre-back again for LYRICZ, a little bit of a talking point that we made earlier when we saw him on the lineup. It was a little bit surprised to see him being played off chemistry in there, but Hullet steps in now. Someone we're used to seeing alongside Patrick Vieira in the midfield to win the ball back.
There's 32 goals for Tekkz so far this tournament, 8 of those in his last 2 games in knockout. He won 4-0 against Phil and then 4-0 against Spider Kong as well. For LYRICZ, just the 26th, but he has also won his last 2 games 2-0, twice against Rafsu and Dullen Mike. So both of them clean sheets in their games. Someone is going to have to come out on top here, surely. Or maybe it might go to penalties, who knows?
Well, here's Hullet then for Tekkz in the familiar Liverpool red. R9 Ronaldo, a couple of step overs, looking to get that little boost of speed on the exit. Exchanging passes here with the Dutchman. Hullet manages to just get the ball through to Neymar, but the second time of asking, Ruud Hullet will win that ball back. Tekkz trying to apply pressure straight onto LYRICZ, not letting the Englishman sail, and now R9 has a chance, and ter Stegen turns it behind for a corner.
Yeah, LYRICZ knew that that was a big save from ter Stegen as well, but Tekkz really starting to rev up the engine now.
Look at the space here, Maldini. Maybe not the play you didn't expect, and it's an extended right leg from the goalkeeper that saves LYRICZ again.
So much pressure being applied. It's really tough for LYRICZ to try and bounce back at this point, try and keep up with the player switching, but now he can slow it all down ever so slightly. Try and take the sting out of Tekkz at this point, because if you allow Tekkz to keep pressuring you, he's going to keep hammering at that door.
Tekkz is winning the ball in such dangerous positions here for LYRICZ. Again, it's R9 this time who decides that he's not going to let him settle. Strong tackle there from Laurent Blanc in the centre-back position. And maybe finally here, it's going to be LYRICZ who has a little bit of respite, but you can see the high line that's being played here by Tekkz, something we haven't seen a lot of so far in this tournament.
Yeah, a lot of low depth, but Tekkz says, you know what, screw that. I don't want to play that way. I want to play aggressively. I want to win the ball back in these dangerous areas, and it's worked out very effectively for him so far. But maybe LYRICZ can take advantage here.
Space here for Semedo, and he gets the ball into Messi. Across to R9, and Maldini had to win the header. And luckily for Tekkz, he did. Corner here to LYRICZ. Messi onto that left foot. We know what a one that is, and he almost gets the return pass, but look at the counter-attack now down.
Yeah, he just needs to use this potential of a 3-on-3. Does manage to switch the play across. Can't quite keep it in, though, Carlos Alberto. And you were talking about team selection earlier as well, Mark. I mean, two players who have arguably the most different team selection that we've seen in the tournament. Vieira being a centre-back for LYRICZ. We see Garrincha on the right-hand side. We see Neymar being used for Tekkz as well.
Here's Messi then for LYRICZ. First chance here. Neymar on the right foot. Goes near post. And footwiz LYRICZ takes the lead here in our Xbox final.
Now, we saw that little clip earlier as well, asking players who do they think is best defenders, the best midfielders. Tekkz saying Van Dijk is your best defender. You're silly if you're not using him. Well, Van Dijk, he does have his downsides. He's not quite as quick and as agile as some other defenders. And footwiz LYRICZ taking full advantage of that there, being able to shimmy away with Neymar, and then what a belter it was into that corner. That's what Neymar has. He has that ability to use the outside of his boot. Very effective way to score in FIFA 20.
So after weathering the storm, and it was an early storm from Tekkz, LYRICZ's first chance, he manages to convert. Beautiful play from him, and now Tekkz on the back foot, of course. A long way to go in this game. Into stoppage time at the end of the first half of our first leg. Hullet decides to attack that space. Couple of step overs. Tekkz knows he needs to go forward, and LYRICZ defends well. A little fist bump there from LYRICZ on the bottom right-hand side of your screen, but a long way to go. Just the 45 minutes gone in this first leg.
Now, I think weather the storm is the correct phrase as well, because Tekkz really was going at him, applying so much pressure and make it difficult for LYRICZ to get out of his own half. At some points, even get out of his own box. LYRICZ was struggling, but it shows the clinicalness of some of these players when you get to these late stages of this tournament. If you present them with an opportunity, they are going to take it. And I'm trying to think back to the last time we've seen Tekkz behind in this tournament, and I don't think we have really seen it happen that often. It was something that was very familiar to him in FIFA 19. Almost we would expect Tekkz to go behind a goal or two, and then he would have the Tekkz come back as usual. But FIFA 20, a very different game to FIFA 19, and if LYRICZ is anything to go by, he said, whoever gets the first goal, probably going to win the game. We'll see whether that pays off for him.
Well, LYRICZ managed to take that one chance, and of course he has his goalkeeper to thank as well, to Stegen with a couple, or 3 big saves in a period of around 10 or 15 minutes in a frantic period of defending to keep him in this game. Neymar wins the ball back here for Tekkz, and I think Tekkz is going to want to take this to LYRICZ here. He's not going to want that lead to stay in touch for too long. Want to put the pressure back on someone who isn't used to being this deep into tournaments. Here's R9 for Tekkz, heel to heel, but can't get round the Frenchman block.
And I think LYRICZ must know that he's not going to see out 2 legs of FIFA without conceding a goal versus Tekkz. So he won't just want to sit on a 1-0 lead and hope that that's going to carry him through to a cross-console final. He knows he needs to build on that lead, but it's about choosing the right time to do so. Try and control the game, try and slow Tekkz down a little bit first.
There's a little bit of space here for Patrick Vieira. Here's R9. Fake shots away from the attention to the defender. Ruud Gullit now squeezes the ball back through to Eusebio, gets it on his left, and again to Stegen. Pulls off a huge save here, down to his left-hand side. Garrincha into Gullit, heel to heel from him. Space here for Maldini. Vieira, Tekkz keeping the pressure on here, but again, LYRICZ just holds strong.
And again, it's Maldini, it's Vieira on the edge of the box. It's not R9, it's not Eusebio. And even with the shot before the corner, I'm not sure Tekkz expected Eusebio to get that ball. It somehow snuck through, and he almost hit that shot button a bit prematurely. Had a little bit more time than I think he realised. And that is potentially a chance rude by him.
So about to hit the hour mark here in our first leg of the Xbox final. Lionel Messi now for LYRICZ. Virgil van Dijk comes across and wins it. And only one real chance for LYRICZ so far in this game, but as we said, clinical in front of goal was Neymar when that chance presented itself. Seeing a pause being cued here as well by LYRICZ. Dan, do you think that's just going to be a change of personnel?
Yeah, maybe just get a couple of fresh legs on the pitch. I don't think he'll be changing anything too tactically. I know he was a big fan of the 4-4-2, and he said that throughout all of his weekend league games, when he's always going 29-1 or 30-0, he'll stick with that 4-4-2 throughout.
Here's Garrincha there in the scoop turn. Couldn't get away from Neymar, of all players, who had found himself back in that almost a full-back position. Neymar maybe waiting for that run of R9, instead decides to go back inside to Zinedine Zidane now.
Just not able to get that 1-2 you're looking for. Sometimes if you try and play the 1-2 too quickly, it's just ends up at the feet of the defender. You have to give it that extra little bit of a second, but it's a very precise timing, because if you wait too long, then of course the defender is able to track the run too effectively as well.
Well, they're trying to find Vieira. Eusebio defending stoutly there for LYRICZ. You can see that cued pause still in effect as well. Ball has not gone out of play to allow LYRICZ to make those changes. But at 1-0, game still very much alive for both of these players. We've seen that Tekkz being able to create chances, Dan. And ter Stegen has been called into action on more than one occasion here for LYRICZ.
And I think Tekkz would have known coming into this would have been his arguably biggest test of this tournament so far. Both good friends, of course, both from England as well. I'm sure have played a lot together online. I'm sure have watched a lot of each other as well.
Lots of space here for Neymar to attack as well here for LYRICZ. Maldini goes across to deal with it. Ooh, manages to squeeze the ball back inside under pressure.
Very much was a squeeze. Very tight angle indeed, but these are the kind of balls you don't see from an average FIFA player. Just utilising that radar correctly, seeing that space on the left-hand side, but unfortunately, really good tracking by LYRICZ. Defending very well at the moment, but he's having to defend a lot.
Yeah, Tekkz is really hassling him in midfield as well. You see that offside trap being employed there, and Hullet again steps in here for LYRICZ. And there's space here. R9 spreads it out to that man who'd found the space as well. Eusebio on this right-hand side tries to whip it across and get it through Virgil van Dijk, and I know that Tekkz absolutely loves that man. Obviously, huge Liverpool fan himself.
There's one thing you can't do. You can't go through Van Dijk. Sometimes you can go round him. He's a mountain in defence.
9 minutes left then. Eusebio now just showed too much of that to Zidane. You could see what Tekkz is trying to do. Just wait for that tackle to come in and maybe just execute a skill move or look for a little quick pass away from his man. But there's one person that's got away from his man here, and it's Semedo of all players who's got it into Messi, looking for that back heel. You could see the idea again from LYRICZ, just couldn't execute quite as he would have wanted.
And you feel like Tekkz is going to have at least one more chance in this first leg of this console final.
Garrincha into Hullet. A little bit of a desperate slide there. Ball into the box! One chance! One goal! And now in our Xbox final, it's one apiece.
And that's the kind of pass and move Tekkz has been looking for throughout the entirety of this game, but finally sees that little extra bit of space. A lot of people would have shot in certain situations there, but he's always looking for that extra chance, always looking for that extra percentage of scoring. A fantastically worked goal from Fnatic's new boy. 2,000 Global Series ranking points on the line for both of these players. Arguably enough, with maybe one other event with an okay placement, you're already looking at an E-World Cup spot. But look at that. A lot of people maybe would have just shot with Neymar instantly, pulled the trigger, saw the pass to Eusebio, and then it was an easy finish from there.
Fantastically well worked, fantastically finished. And now this tie is fantastically poised. One apiece. LYRICZ will have possession from the restart here. Can he re-establish that lead in possibly the last attack of this game? Blanc with a long ball out to Cristiano Ronaldo, who's just introduced himself to the pitch.
Yeah, a couple of fresh legs just came on for these final few moments, and maybe that might be the difference maker. I'm sure LYRICZ will want to make it sure that he does have that final attack. Just keep that ball away from Tekkz as we go into added on time, just the 2 minutes. You do have to be careful not to give the ball away.
And he has given it away. Kylian Mbappe picks it up, The Frenchman doing great defensive work as R9 burst his way into the box. Oh, and Mbappe was there. But the ball just didn't fall to the Frenchman. But when it is all said and done at the end of our first leg, nothing to split the two players. It's one apiece.
And even though only 1-1, plenty of chances and a very action-packed game, actually, very back and forth. There were a couple of times where Tekkz just ran into a little bit of a wall from LYRICZ, but there was always that concern of the counter-attack. Even though LYRICZ didn't have as much chances as I'm sure he would have liked or that he's used to in some of the games he's played prior to this, at least he made that one chance really count. I think last season, so didn't get to have a spot in the E-World Cup. He apologised, he realised it was a mistake, and now he's back. He wants to redeem himself, and, well, it seems like the best way is just to play some good FIFA, and that is what he has done this tournament. And I'm sure that even if he did only walk away with just an Xbox final under his belt, he'd be more than happy with that. One other thing that we didn't mention, I mean, yeah, okay, they get the trophy if they win the entire thing, but you saw the little mini trophies they get if they are just one of the Masters. They automatically qualify for FUT Champions Cup #2. But if you are a finalist winner, if you win the Xbox final, you get a trophy that says Xbox final winner. I think that's a nice touch.
They're champion in their own right on their own console, so it should be rewarded as such. You saw the attempt there from Tekkz to fire that ball over the top of LYRICZ's defence to start this off. 1-1. If you're just joining us, of course, welcome along as Neymar almost steals the ball off of Patrick Vieira. In a very precarious position there for LYRICZ. But if you're just joining us, as I say, aggregate score 1-1, essentially 0-0, as you can see at the top of your screen. If I like that, after two legs here, after the next 90 minutes, we'll go to extra time and then to the penalty spot if required. But hopefully we won't need to go there as Laurent Blanc snaps into a standing tackle there. You saw the idea again from Tekkz, looking for that little fake shot just to give him that one-on-one opportunity.
And as far as I'm aware, I don't believe that LYRICZ has actually ever beaten Tekkz in a competitive FUT Cup. But maybe this is where he can write his own history. Tekkz has played LYRICZ before in Bucharest last year. He won it 3-1. But I'm sure at this point, those kind of results are not in either of these players' heads. Different game is FIFA 20. And different opportunities for both players.
Little mistake there from Fnatic's Tekkz, just looking for that dummy, and the ball just rolled out of play to present it back to LYRICZ here. LYRICZ now building an attack of his own, spread the ball out to Semedo. Continuing his run here as well, the Barcelona man, Eusebio instead goes back inside to Lionel Messi. Here is Semedo getting aggressive, and Zambrotta will tower above Lionel Messi to win that head-up.
Now this is the scary factor when Tekkz starts marching towards you with the ball. He was terrifying in FIFA 19 because of his ability to chain skill moves together so successfully, and you never really knew where he was going. He was one of the most unpredictable players. I do feel like he's lost an edge in FIFA 20 as he can't chain those skill moves together as successfully. But he still finds a way. I mean, we'll always see like a fake Rabona followed by the stop, followed by a drag back, followed by a bull roll. He just times them a little bit different.
Well, there's space here for Tekkz. You can see R9 was just desperate for that ball back. You can see he attempted Elastico to get inside the box and couldn't quite create the space for that final pass, but Tekkz still keeping the pressure on here from the corner. Vieira collects it. Ruud Gullit. Men behind the ball here for LYRICZ, but he's found the ball through to R9. Little body feint there, and Gullit will open himself up and looking for that finesse. Into Eusebio. Chance there for Tekkz, but LYRICZ holds on.
Yeah, good composure there from LYRICZ. Very easy to lose your head and start diving in, lunging in with tackles when the ball is bobbling around in the box, but he stayed focused. He's able to just play that ball out safely.
Here comes LYRICZ then. We know that it doesn't take him more than one opportunity to score a goal. Hasn't had too much in the offensive side of the game so far, but as I say, only takes one chance. R9. Teasing Van Dijk. Teasing Tekkz in defence as well. Scoop turn away from his man. Eusebio, that's a great ball into Lionel Messi now. A couple of step overs. You can see space here for Zidane. Starting to open up here for LYRICZ, but just at the right moment, Tekkz had to win that tackle, and he did.
Look how quickly Tekkz wants to get up the other side of the pitch. He's saying, look, there's men that have been pushing me. There's gaps in the back. I need to take advantage of this ASAP. But so quick are LYRICZ players to get back, get behind that ball, and make this more difficult for Tekkz. Both players at the moment just in a nutritional battle of trying to urge and force their opposition out of these cubby holes they're sitting in and saying, look, come push me, come try and take this ball away from me, and then I'm going to take advantage of that space, and then I'm going to hit you with that scoop turn, and then bang, I've got that opportunity on goal. But because they're both so strong defensively, it's so difficult to actually get that chance.
It's going to take a moment of magic, or, as I say, a mistake from one of these players, which we pretty much haven't seen from either of them throughout the tournament. Just a reminder that Tekkz is currently unbeaten in the tournament. The only other player left who can say that is for Filzer on the PlayStation 4. Around 8 minutes or so until half-time in our second leg. Still no goals to report here. Maybe it'll be LYRICZ who can turn creator here. Eusebio will get the ball back. Lionel Messi turns away from Maldini just for a second, but the Italian wins the ball back. Feeds it to another Italian, Zambrotta in at left back. And with 5 minutes left, maybe it'll be Tekkz who can create that next chance.
It's just the time that both of these players choose to step in and lunge across with those players. It's not just to try and win the ball. Sometimes it's to try and block the ball as well. Of course, a slide tackle is an option, but it's very risky. So instead, you almost create a little jump across the man by lunging in. And when you've got the likes of Virgil van Dijk, you've got the likes of Maldini, such big frames, big bodies, they can just get in the way. Such a nuisance to try and beat if you're attacking.
Here's R9 then for Tekkz. 1 minute plus stoppage time until half-time. Hullet and Vieira combining, just waiting for that final attack of the half. And there is that attempted ball down the line. Zambrotta's going to clean that up all day. Looking for Garincha, and just that pass was pretty wayward from Tekkz.
I think LYRICZ knew it was a risk if he had just quickly tried to pump that ball down the wing, because it could have potentially just dropped to Tekkz's right midfielder or right back, and then he would have had another attack in that those last minutes of the first half. No shots yet for LYRICZ, though. Very well contained by Tekkz, but around the box, LYRICZ is certainly looking somewhat dangerous, but Tekkz has not yet bitten into the bait that LYRICZ has been offering on the edge. He's been using the drag back. He's just been crab walking along, hoping that someone's going to lunge in.
It's going exactly the way that LYRICZ said it was going to go, to be fair to him. He thought it would be a one-goal game, and at this point, you have to say it's starting to look like that. And it isn't a question of when, it's who. He's going to get it.
And it's not like either of these players lack offensive ability. We've seen that with the goals that we've seen prior to this in their earlier games. I'm sure if one of them does grab a goal, then suddenly we'll see the game open up even more, where the other will have to push on. And there will be gaps to take advantage of.
Eusebio shakes his head, and I think Tekkz shook his head as well. A little bit of a disappointing touch there from the Portuguese icon. Just letting that one roll out of play as Zinedine Zidane now picks up the ball, in the middle of the pitch. Great little touch there from Neymar, continuing his run as well. Can LYRICZ create here? Maldini gets across, not once, but twice to win the ball back.
I think those are the situations where you hope that your winger can just bundle their way through past the centre-back that's drifted out, because if you get past them, then suddenly there is that space behind. But when you do have Maldini, it's very difficult to get by. Still very much the game being controlled by Tekkz.
The longer that this goes on, Dan, sorry to cut you off there, the more important that next chance that's created becomes. It could be a game-winning, an Xbox console, side of the bracket winning, championship winning goal at this point. Still a stalemate between these two players. Hullet now steps forward, tries to feed it into R9, but again, just so many bodies in the way. It's so tough to break it down.
It really is, and at the moment, it just seems like both of them have kind of run out of ideas, but you say that, maybe Tekkz will pull something out here.
Massive chance here. Oh, Blanc slides in.
What a challenge that was.
He got just enough of the ball.
Very
Tekkz
brave.
went for the heel-to-heel, as you say, Dan. Incredibly brave decision there from LYRICZ, but sometimes fortune favours the brave.
It was all from just a little defensive mistake from LYRICZ as well, trying to pass that ball out too quickly. Tekkz was able to pounce on it, and it meant that a couple of those defenders were out of position. If they're not out of position and they are back, it means that Tekkz is having to just force himself between his two CDMs, just passing it between Vieira and Hullet, hoping that LYRICZ makes a mistake, steps out of line. Very rarely has he stepped out of line.
How long can you keep that level of concentration up, though? Here's Garincha. Another new icon to FIFA 20. Is he going to become an iconic name for Fnatic's Tekkz? With a winning goal here, comes into a central position. Vieira dribbles forward into Eusebio. Space here for Tekkz. He's turned away, and he's found a way.
Not one, not two, but just 3 swivels on the spot. At one point, it looked like maybe it was one too many, but LYRICZ just not able to keep up with it, not able to lunge in. And Tekkz just held his own there, was confident in his ability, knew exactly what he wanted to do with the ball. It was a brave attacking maneuver, but he's pulled it off, and now he's finally got the lead in this tie. 24 minutes left now for LYRICZ to try and bring himself back into it.
Absolutely unbelievable composure, great technique inside the box as well from Eusebio, just to have that ball on a string, to turn away from the man, not once, not twice, like you said, Dan, but 3 times, and then having found that space, finding a finish to the left-hand side of ter Stegen. That goal is absolutely huge in the context of this game.
So many players would have panicked in that situation, probably was shot a little bit earlier. And it's one thing I credit pretty much every pro at this event, at the highest level of FIFA, is how they react to the scenarios they're presented. You have to read the situation, you have to analyze where your opponent is covering, where their defenders are, and Tekkz read that one perfectly, and he's rewarded for it now. And he's on his way to yet another cross-console final in the first major of the year.
And the dream of the 3 back-to-back first event wins of the year is still alive for Tekkz, but LYRICZ has got something to say about that. He's come a long way since the disappointment of last year, but he can't get the ball through the midfield here of Tekkz. He's got to apply that pressure. He's got to squeeze at this point. 20 minutes left in this game to send it to extra time.
One of the things that a lot of people have said Tekkz has got better at from FIFA 18 to 19 to 20 is game management, is knowing when to hold on to a lead, knowing how to shut a game out, knowing how to restrict an opponent of opportunities. 16 minutes left until he's in that cross-console final. And it's when he starts to just hold on to that ball a little bit more. Take a couple less risks with passes. Start to eat away at his opponent's brain, let alone the game time.
You can see the changes coming in here for LYRICZ. This is the last roll of the dice for him. If he wants to get into that cross-console final, he has to find a goal in this next 15 minutes or so. So he's going on his most attacking custom tactic there to get as many players putting pressure onto Tekkz, towards Tekkz's goal.
Throw-in's always tough because they're so easy to mark at times, and Tekkz shows us exactly that. Wins the ball back. That's not what you want to see if you're a FUTWIZ fan.
Well, it turns back inside here for Tekkz, just trying to see this game out. There's still time, though. And that ball looks like it will be slightly overhit, so it will be possession going back here to LYRICZ. Needs to make the most of this opportunity to go forward.
He's going to have plenty of bodies in the way, and he's going to have to produce a little bit of magic like we saw Tekkz do in the final third, but that's not the magic he's looking for.
Will be a free kick as well. Blanc managed to intercept the pass, but Zidane was just late, meaning more seconds off the clock, meaning more possession to Fnatic's Tekkz.
And I know we say it all the time that there will be a chance, there will be that one opportunity for LYRICZ, but how many times have we seen Tekkz in this scenario close a game out and not allow a chance? Can LYRICZ first get the ball back, and then what can he do with that ball if he does?
Here's R9 then. Maybe a chance on the finesse shot. Ter Stegen will gather. Most importantly, that didn't just parry it away. Wasn't enough power in the shot to really cause him too many problems. And now LYRICZ can come forward. Zidane over the top here. Zambrotta getting forward. Everyone instructed to go forward here for LYRICZ. As Zidane finds the pass here. Pele puts it across. Alisson under pressure. But great feet there from the Liverpool goalkeeper to just bring that one down.
It was almost a nightmare. Thankfully, though, Tekkz very focused on the ball, but there's still opportunities for LYRICZ.
Pele managed to win the ball and step away there so well. 87 minutes on the clock here in Bucharest. LYRICZ needs a goal, and he needs it now. Hullet into R9. Scoop turn away, but not away from the attentions of Maldini. And that could well be the game as we tick over into the 90th minute.
And Tekkz desperately just trying to get forward, get away from men here, try and waste that time ever so slightly, but Zambrotta wins the ball back. There's going to be one last-ditch attempt, but the ball's given away, and that's probably it, Mark.
Garrincha comes forward. Will Tekkz look for one more opportunity? Or will he just see this out? R9 into Garrincha. Corner for Tekkz. We're over the allotted time. As Garrincha just twists, turns, as the final whistle goes. And your Xbox champion here in Bucharest, none other than Fnatic Tekkz.
He's done it again. Another major at the start of the season. Tekkz has found himself in the grand final, the cross-console final, and it's just one man that stands in his way now.